Hey everybody, it's Jen from Jen's Rack, and I'm here to do my Music Together review. I've been meaning to do a vlog on this for a while, but I just haven't had a chance to do so. So here I am. Music Together is a music program designed for children. They have different age groups. There's one that's more for ages up to about 6, and then there's another one for older children, 5 to 7, and then they have, I believe, some classes for just babies. But the one that I did was mixed ages, and my children at the time of taking the class were 2.5, 5, and 6.5. The majority of the children in the classes were between 1 and 2 years old, and several of them were repeats, and so they had been in the class before and were familiar with the format and things like that. Now, I did my Music Together classes through Music Together Dallas, which you can check that out at musictogetherdallas.com. And Miss Gila was our teacher, and she was just really awesome with the kids. She was very child-oriented, but then she was also very parent-oriented, especially in giving us tips and advice and factoids about the development of our children and their brains and things like that through movement and music and the repetition of the classes and the introduction to different instruments and things like that. So basically we would walk into the class and there would be music playing, and it would be music that we were familiar with because it would be from the CDs that we were given as part of the 10-week class. And each 10 weeks they have a different set of music and books that they go through. I do believe that they repeat after you've done all of them, but there are so many that it keeps you nice and busy through several series of the classes. But the one that we did was Bells, and that was, if you're familiar with it, it was the one with the blue cover. And so you walk in and there's usually some music playing. Sometimes there wasn't some music playing. We would sit down in a circle, like a circle time on a little mat, and we would sing the Hello song. And it's a neat little song because it gets everyone familiar with each other, and the kids start knowing that song, and it's something that is done every single time in every session, so that's kind of cool. And so we would sing the Hello Everybody song, and we would go around, and it includes their names. And then it says, you know, like hello to the mommies, hello to the babies in the tummies, things like that. So we do that. Then we would move on and do different selections from the music on the CDs. Now the CDs were great because we would keep one in the car, and then we had one for home. And we listened to them on road trips, and we listened to them at home. We listened to them going to the grocery store. The kids really enjoyed it. And what I found funny was the kids loved it, especially the older kids, they loved it. But then we would get into class and they would clam up like they had no idea what we were listening to. But every now and then a certain song would come on and someone would make eye contact with me. So Grace had one that was her favorite song, and so she would look at me every time it came on. But then, of course, if Miss Gila asked her to help with something related to that song, she would clam up and pretend like she had no idea, you know, what song is this? What? You know, it was just kind of silly. So anyway, you know, we would listen to different song selections from the CD and the music book that we were given. And then we would do different songs, had different things. Some of them she would bring out scarves, or some of them she would bring up just assorted instruments, or some it might be specific instruments that everybody had the same of, or sometimes it was a ball. Everybody got balls to play with and things like that. And it would be things that were incorporated with either the lyrics or the sounds of the songs, and she would be an example of different rhythms or movements or dances or ways to change your voice when singing it. And so everything was sung to a tune, and it was just a really neat thing. At some point we would have a free dance, and it was usually something off the wall and not related necessarily to the Bells CD, and that was kind of fun. And usually there was like a quiet time type song, and we would blow off the lights and blow them back on, kind of like a candle. It was kind of neat. And the kids liked that, and the lights would be off, and they would get to be calm for a song or two, and that was kind of cute. And then we would do our normal things with the different songs, and then at the end we did a goodbye song, and it was another one where we would say goodbye to each child individually in the circle. Some cool things about the class, and I don't know if this goes for all of the teachers, but Miss Gila especially was just awesome about it, is if the kids were kind of wandering off out of the circle, she would still include them, but not to the point of embarrassing them or something like that. I mean, obviously I was still the parent, and I was still in charge of making sure they weren't doing anything dangerous or leaving the room or something like that. But, and she would try and keep them included. So, for example, for the hello and the goodbye songs, even if they weren't in the circle, we would still sing to them in the order as if they had been sitting where they were supposed to be. Okay, so my reactions for my kids. For my 6-year-old, she was a little bit bored with the class. She did love the music, and really enjoyed looking at the actual book with the music. And it has the notes and everything, so if you wanted to play it on the piano or something at home, you could. But it also has the lyrics, and so she really enjoyed reading through the lyrics at home with that. She liked to hold that and the case in the vehicle when we would listen to it, actually. When we got into the class, she would do some of the things. She loved playing with the instruments, liked playing with the props, but she really liked helping. So that was something Miss Gila really helped with a lot, too. She let Grace be a big helper. So she would let her get out the toys and then help put the container back up and things like that. And at the end, they had little stamps that they would give the kids, you know, and she got to help roll the stamps on their arms and that kind of thing. So she really enjoyed it, and she didn't gripe about going to the class, but she, I feel, didn't participate to her fullest extent. I think that she might do okay in an older kid class, because she had made a comment one time that this class was just full of babies, and I told her, obviously, it's not just for babies, because she was in there, and it's for kids up to her age, and she argued with me a little bit about it. But she enjoyed the class, and she loved the music, and I really liked that it got her used to listening to music from different cultures and different instruments, which was neat. And she also got to hear different types of singing and different languages, which was cool. Okay, so my 5-year-old, now he's kind of, I don't know really how to explain his personality. He kind of, if he's not interested in it, he's not even going to pretend he's interested. He won't do the fake polite thing. He won't sit there quietly. It's not going to happen with him. So for him, during the classes, he was my nightmare. He would run around along the edges, and our classes were in a dance studio. So he would run around where the mirrors were, and he would watch himself do karate moves or whatever, or he would sit off to the side, put his shoes on and off, mess with my purse, try and get into my phone. He would try and pretend like he was going to do play fighting with his brother. He would race. I mean, he just did all sorts of weird stuff. But the second instruments came out, he was there. And so he would participate with the instruments, and usually it was loud and obnoxious and not really part of the class, but at least he was participating, and he got better with it as time went on. So he did start sort of going with the melody and the rhythm of the songs a little bit more as time went on. And he got better at cleaning it up and just being a nice, helpful person, which was good. But he never really got into the classes much. And that's not to say that he wouldn't if we went again, but just in this 10-week cycle, he did not. However, at home, he did listen to the music, and he's not really as musical. Well, I won't say that. He is very musically inclined, but he doesn't like singing and things like that as much. But he did enjoy listening to the music in the car, and I did notice that he and Grace would make up a lot of songs and sing them to each other more so than before the classes. So that was a good advantage. And Miss Gila was always really nice with him. I felt like pulling my hair out because he was not participating, and that's so embarrassing. But, you know, that's kind of his personality, so I don't know what to tell you. Okay, my 2.5-year-old, I think, really got a lot out of the class, in and out of class. He loved listening to the music in the car, and we still listen to it. He'll sing along to it. He'll sing it randomly when it's not on. It's just really cute. And he started, like, singing answers to stuff, like at dinner and things like that. It was just really sweet. He did enjoy making up some songs and stuff with Grace and Michael, which I thought was cute too. In class, actually, he had a great time. Now, he would feed a little bit off of Grace and Michael, so if they were not behaving or not participating, he would pretend like he didn't want to participate. But then he would forget, and he would participate. And so he was dancing, and he was singing, and he was whispering the songs if he didn't want to show that he was doing it too much. He loved blowing the lights off and blowing the lights on. He loved playing with the instruments and the props and all of that. Something that I did notice through the 10 weeks that we did this class is his language development went off the charts compared to what it was prior to the class. Now, prior to the class, honestly, I have been trying to get a hold of ECI for weeks and cannot get a hold of anyone. Nobody ever calls me back. I can't get a direct person on a line anywhere. And I really was trying to get a hold of them because his language is really delayed, in my opinion. And it still kind of is. But since taking this class and having the music and doing all of that, it's amazing. He's speaking and I know what he's saying. Other people still have trouble, although some things are very clear. But I can communicate with him. And before I couldn't because he just either would not talk, like he wouldn't take the initiative to speak. He would just point and scream, or he would do a bunch of jibber jabber that didn't make any sense and who knows what the heck he was saying. But now he's actually trying. A lot of what he's saying sounds similar, at least, to real words, and some of them are really real words, and he's speaking in sentences and things like that. So that's really cool, and I do think that it was linked because we just immersed him in this music and movement and this experience, and I think that it really did help make those brain connections for him. And that is one thing with Music Together. And I realize this is getting kind of long, so I'm going to cut it off here in a second. But with this program, they give you a lot of tools and information as far as the educational aspect of what the kids are gaining from their music class. The music class itself is like 45, 50 minutes long total. But what they're gaining from going, the repetition, the immersion in the different cultures and languages and types of music, types of instruments, types of singing, different rhythms, different melodies, different everything. And then also listening to it at home and going over it and over it and over it. It really does help make a bunch of connections in their brains. It helps them with development in so many ways. And the booklet that they give you with the Music Together thing kind of puts that out there for you. But then also the instructor gives you tidbits about that too. They give you a lot of parent education as far as the developmental milestones that this type of program helps with. And they also give you ideas of things to do at home. And I always thought that was really neat. So, in conclusion, I really did enjoy Music Together, and I do think that we're taking this semester off, but I do think we might sign up for it next semester because I would really like to take the new baby, and I really think Heath would like it. But I may have my older kids sit to the side and do homeschool instead. Not because they can't benefit from the class, but I really feel like it benefits the younger two more, and I would like to focus my energies on them, and the older kids will benefit by listening to the music at home. So I feel like they'll still get benefit, and I may put them in the older kid classes, I'm not really sure. But the younger kids, I really kind of would like to continue on with this at least 1 or 2 more semesters and just get them more into it and kind of see where it goes, because I really love music and I really want my kids to have that experience as well. Plus, that's part of the reason why we moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because there just weren't as many activities and opportunities available to my children where we moved from, and so that's why we're here. We moved here for opportunities and things for our children, so I would like to continue that on. So anyway, I would encourage you to check out Music Together, and if you are in the Dallas area, musictogetherdallas.com is the website that you can go to, and I believe that they are currently registering for classes. I'm looking at it right now. They have all the prices and things on there. They've got registration going on. I believe, well, I have to log in. I'm not doing that right now. But they also have it where it's very easy. If you miss a class, you can easily just schedule yourself to make up the class during a time when they have another class. And so our music together time was Tuesdays, and we weren't able to make it. So we made it up another day, another location, and a different time. You can even do it with a different instructor if you wanted to. I mean, it's just kind of up to you, but they always offer makeups. One last thing, another thing that Music Together Dallas does is they have a fund that I believe they are associated with a nonprofit that Gila is in charge of, and it helps to give scholarships to special needs children so that they have access to these classes and other things as well. So it's just kind of neat. They give back so much, and they just really help out the families, and it seems like they really are passionate about it and love what they do and love the program. So it's really cool. I really enjoyed being part of it, and I hope that you guys will check it out also.